Abiba was founded by a group of people who have had interest in telecom. So we've been in the telecom either as practitioners, senior management, or as investors. So we knew the industry pretty well. We also knew that there's a lot of data being generated in telcos, and the volume of data is only growing, with time. But as telco practitioners, we were finding it difficult to get insights when we were in operating roles. Insights backed by data. So we oftentimes had to struggle to get reports, get analysis on time, on demand. A lot of it was technology driven, which was not exactly comfortable to business users. So we thought that there is a certain value we could bring by focusing on how to transform the data which is there in the operators, in the telcos, into meaningful insights which the business teams and decision makers are comfortable with. And in the larger context of that, we felt that a product approach is something we should explore. It would be IP creation, but it would also help us to use our expertise and bring the best of technology and domain and package it in a manner which appeals to the decision makers of operators. So as a startup, with limited resources, we had to take a call in terms of, do we work on all of our offerings at the same time, or how do we time it? So what we did is, based on our assessment of the market, we thought that many of the customers in the markets we were focusing on, which are primarily emerging markets, were more ready for the BI solution than for the advanced analytics offering. So we initially, rolled out the BI offering, and in the last 2 quarters, we have released our social network analytics solution, which is again under the Champion umbrella. We think that's going to be a huge growth vehicle in the future as social mobility start converging and leads to a lot of big data available which needs analytics. We have tried to address the scaling in 2 ways. One, try and make the solution more pre-built, more ready for deployment. Package it in a manner wherein it addresses most of the customer needs. And since we are focused on the telecom vertical, which we know very well, we have been able to achieve it over time. The second is the team which we have built. In fact, over the last 2 years, if you look at it, from handling 2 projects at a time to doing about close to 10 projects last year, our manpower has gone up by hardly about 10%. So I think the scalability, I think up to the next level of scaling up, which we see for the next 12 to 18 months, this model would work. Beyond which we will again have to relook at it and try and see how do we divide the teams. So when you look at the ecosystem, I think the key stakeholders, as I say, are one is obviously the investors. 2 is the team, which is ready to work in a startup environment, and 3 is the external ecosystem in terms of partners or customers who are willing to work with startups. As far as Abiba is concerned, I think we're pretty lucky in terms of the original investor team, being able to take us through the subsequent rounds of funding till today. As regards teams, it's been a challenge. I think unlike Silicon Valley, where people look at working in a startup as a big, as a part of their life, as part of their journey, I think there's still a preference for big brands in India. So I think it is certainly not been easy to attract the people we need all the time. As far as the channel and customer ecosystem is concerned, yes, it's been a struggle, it's been a challenge to convince customers to give us an opportunity, convince partners to work with us. But I think we had our learnings, and where we are today, I think it's been in a much better position in terms of that part also.
Right.
I think so where we are today is largely because of the first big break which we got. That's about 3 years back with a large telecom group which is active in the Middle East and Africa geography. So we have been working with that group through one of our partners for a while, and we explored. We had done 2 pilots, 3 pilots in different areas. and think we kept trying to find a fit, because that group had a number of IT solutions, had a number of vendors. So the challenge was to identify a particular kind of an offering or a gap in their existing solutions, where as Abiba we could add value, and that took a little bit of exploration. There was a great deal of understanding and cooperation and support from both the partner and from the customer. And when we were given an opportunity finally, to demonstrate our capabilities, there was one particular window where we had about 4 to 6 weeks, in which time we had to get back with a prototype with customer data. It was a very tight timeline for us, but we knew that it was a kind of a big break, and in that 4 to 6 weeks, we literally burned the midnight oil. Put all the resources we had on, we focused on that, and showed the prototype, which was accepted. That allowed us to do a actual live project. And I think as a startup, one of the things which maybe I personally believe and we're able to bring in is feet on the ground. We think it is much better to grow steadily than aim for kind of abnormal growth in the early stages. We also come from a finance background, and I'm very convinced that cash is critical. So you have to be conscious of the amount of cash you are burning out and what you are bringing into the company. So I think focusing on the basics in terms of efficiency, utilization, and having a fairly kind of stripped down organization setup. In terms of work environment, I think we are reasonably flexible. People, though we have a defined kind of working hours, people do come in early, leave early, or come in late as per their convenience. We are okay with work from home. It is not actively kind of promoted, but any day anybody wants to work out of home, we are okay with that. We keep moving people across project teams to get an exposure to a wide range of projects and work environments, and give them the space and the freedom to go ahead and do anything which involves employees, because it's a fairly young team, and hence some of us are probably a little old to relate very well to them, so we are happy when on their own they take the initiative and do that. Another thing which might have also helped is we had at least a couple of people, probably it's more than two, who left Abiba and then come back. I think that sends a very strong message, and when they come back and say, I love this place, the work environment, I think it sends a message to others saying that maybe money-wise there are better options outside, but the overall experience, is good. This is certainly my first venture, and I certainly don't see myself as a risk taker. Very conservative, traditional middle class upbringing. So I think how it started was my initial involvement was as in an executive role as a CEO and the managing director. So it helped that I was actually not participating in the initial investment. It happened at a time in my life when I thought probably the right stage to try out something. Works well, great. If it doesn't, probably can go back to the industry. And the space in which it was there was analytics, something which I think I've always been good in analysis, and I thought I could relate very well to the space and help with that. I am convinced that Abiba is a great, it's at a great stage in its life, and that we have a long way to go. And I and the core team is committed to being a part of this journey. One of the things which was kind of very clear to me even when I started is if you are not a serial entrepreneur, if you kind of become an entrepreneur for the first time, it's important that your family is with you on this. Yeah, because it means an adjustment in many ways, financial and work life and so many things. So I think I'm fortunate that my complete family is with me in this, so it's made it a lot easier. The other thing which is important as an entrepreneur is, or in this mode is shouldn't get stressed up. There's so much to be done, and anyways you're expending a lot of energy, and I think stress is really something which takes away more from you. So one has to find ways of not getting stressed.